Hello everyone, VN here. Have you ever had your computer freeze up on you? It's so frustrating, isn't it? You're going along and the next thing you know, your programs all freeze and you can't do anything. You can sit there and stare at it. You can even yell at it. But the fact is, unless you do a reboot of your computer, it's useless. I wonder how many of you need a reboot of your life. Maybe because of circumstances outside of your control. Maybe it's caused you to shut down or lose faith. Faith in a loving God, or maybe faith in believing that anything good can come for you. If rebooting allows your computer to restart and get back to working normally, what if having a reboot of your view of God not only gets you back to believing who He truly is, but what if it could empower you to receive more than you could ever dream possible? Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a dream that you wish would come true? Maybe you thought that would never happen to you. Because let's face it, dreams don't actually come true. Do they? My father-in-law asked me once, he said, Vian, if you could do anything, be anything, and there were no barriers in your way, what would it be? I told him that I wanted to make an impact on the world. It's always been my dream. I wanted to travel and share my story to encourage others to have courage. Do you know what he said? What's stopping you? When he replied with what's stopping you, I don't think I had ever been more annoyed, yet more intrigued by someone as I was in that moment. But my logic told me I couldn't possibly live out my dream. That's just something that only people with lots of money or lots of time on their hands can do. How dare he imply that I was holding myself back? When I was in Bible college, I had high hopes with big dreams. I even made this bold statement. God, I'll go through anything as long as I know you're with me. I thought my dreams would look so much different than what they turned out to be. You see, because when transverse myelitis took my independence and nearly destroyed me, it also took my ability to dream. Not in my wildest dreams did I think that something like this would happen to me. I'm going to wager a guess. I'm guessing that I'm not the only one who has cried out to God, accusing Him of not caring about you because He didn't take your pain or remove you from a circumstance that you were so desperate to have Him remove you from. How many times have you quoted this verse? How many times have I quoted this verse in my life? 2 Corinthians 12:9. Say it with me if you know it. My grace is sufficient for you, and my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses. So what? So God's power may rest upon me. Yes, I could quote it, but I tell you, I did not understand it. I had some mindsets and views of God and myself that were limiting my understanding of God's power and what He could do in my pain or my weaknesses. I had adapted a mindset that God couldn't possibly use me now. I needed a reboot of my thinking. I'm wondering if you need a reboot today. You see, I couldn't see past my circumstance. I had this jaded view of God, and it was limiting my understanding of His power and what He could do in spite of me and all of my weaknesses. I finally got desperate and I said, okay, God, you take my pain. You take my need for control, my pride. Take my fear that I will never amount to anything. If you can do anything with this mess, go ahead. And guess what, you guys? He did. He gave me a reboot. And because of that, God was able to do more in me than I ever was capable of before. And now I am an author, speaker, founder of a nonprofit organization, and I hold the title of first ever Miss Wheelchair Canada and Miss Kindness World. Can you believe it? This platform, this crown and these titles provided me with an opportunity to show that God's strength shines even more through my weaknesses in ways I never could. So you know what? You can be sure that I now understand when he said, "My grace is sufficient for you, Vienne, and my strength is made perfect in your weakness." And I now most definitely do boast about my weaknesses and my shiny crown. Because you know what? God's power rests on me today even more. Even more. You see, never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that something like this tragic thing would happen, that thing that nearly destroyed me. I never thought that it would provide an opportunity for more blessing than I could have ever hoped or dreamed for. Did you catch that? Something that I thought nearly destroyed me. Not because of the pain, but because of what I did with that pain. You see, when God does a reboot, he not only does a good job, you guys, this is what I want you to get. He not only does a good job, he surpasses your wildest dreams. He surpassed my wildest dreams, and you can be sure that if you let him, he'll surpass your wildest dreams. What I am experiencing now goes beyond anything that I could have ever dreamed or imagined it of, conjured up in my own mind. But guess what? That's not even the best part. Because never in my wildest dreams did I believe that I could have unexplainable peace in the midst of my chaos, or that I could have defiant joy in the midst of my pain, or that my contagious courage could actually, possibly, maybe help you see that God is able to do way more than you could even ask or think. That's my prayer. That's my prayer for you today. I pray today that you will allow God to reboot your life and your limited way of thinking to receive blessings, what? Beyond your wildest dreams. Thank you, and God bless.